So, what's it like living on your Neptune Midheaven line, folks? Or what would it be like living, having a chart with Neptune conjunct your midheaven? What would you do with that energy? How would you express it? Well, let's talk about Frank Sinatra's chart. Blue eyes, good-looking, Libra rising, internationally known, inspirational, sun sign of Sagittarius, royal, wealthy person. Leo midheaven, Neptune in Leo conjunct the midheaven. He lived on that Neptune line in Hoboken, New Jersey. So what was it like for him? Well, I've never spoke to him, but I have read a lot about him. And my stepfather, was very much a Frank Sinatra fan. And what I know about Frank Sinatra is he got his start over there on his Neptune Midheaven line in Hoboken, New Jersey. That's where he started to get into music and dance and, performing and in the clubs over there, over in the East Coast, right? And that's how he started out, very much on that Neptunian line. And then what happened? He eventually gravitated to where? If you have a Leo midheaven, the sun is shining on you all the time, right? So he moved over to his sun line in the West Coast, in Hollywood, in Las Vegas, in the desert, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage area, right? Because if you recall his song, New York, New York, right? These little town blues are melting away. Yeah, they're melting away because your sun line is calling you, Mr. Sinatra. It's true. And if I can make it, remember he said, if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere, right? And then the other part of the song, there's so many beautiful lyrics in the song New York, New York. I always get very emotional and choked up with it. And, when he says, I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps to find I'm king of the hill. Well, what happened to him over in Hollywood? And in Las Vegas, wasn't that a city that didn't sleep like New York? Wasn't that where the spotlight was in Las Vegas with his shows? And what about all the movies he did over in Beverly Hills? But he started out on his Neptune Midheaven line, and that's where he got into his musicality, creative expression, healing energy of music and performing. And it's such a beautiful energy that he has. And what a beautiful chart. And I just loved this energy of his, and I had to talk about it. And of course, I always saw him as a performer with that Leo midheaven, right? Before I even looked at his chart, I knew he was very internationally known, famous, rich, blah, blah, blah. But he was also a very good person. Okay? He spoke up about injustices in the world. He did. And that Neptune energy is a lot of the energy a lot of us forget that he had. And yet such healing beauty in it, because Neptune heals. Lots of people play Frank Sinatra's music every day, not just because they like him. They play it because it's healing to them. And the lyrics to New York, New York, I know for me, whenever I hear it, I do get very emotional. So his song, New York, New York, on some level, for me, is very healing. And my stepfather used to have his music going all the time, and I know why. Because I know my stepfather, especially in his elderly years, was like, wow, he would start singing to him. You know, he was so into it. And that's what Neptune does. It kind of heals us without us really knowing all the time. And so Mr. Sinatra was a beautiful energy and such a healing energy with the Neptune conjunct the midheaven in Leo. So that Neptune and that sunline energy were very strong for him. And so anybody listening who lives with Neptune, lives on their Neptune line, and you're kind of doing what Mr. Sinatra did, and maybe it's time for you to get off of that line, you might want to look at, where's your sun line? Where is your sun line? Somewhere in the world. In the United States? Is it in Norway? Is it in Australia? Is it in China? Is it in Japan? Where is your sun line? You may find, looking at that energy, might be a bright light for you if you want to get off your Neptune line. You see, to me, Neptune represents nightclub energy. Going in to a nightclub, it's dark inside, and you're performing, and people are dancing and having a few drinks at the bar. And then maybe, there's a different singer in the nightclub, right? Neptune is more of a hidden energy. But when you take it to the sun line, there you go. The spotlight is on you, so to speak. Now, I'm not saying everybody who lives on their Neptune line, oh, you go to your sun line and you're going to be, woo, famous like Frank. No. What I'm saying is, if you understand the energy, it might be able to help you. And that's really how a lot of us learn astrology, is by looking at other people's charts and studying and getting to know that energy on some level. And so I'm going to end there and close and say this is a beautiful energy that Mr. Frank Sinatra carried. And what a healer, what a talented, good-looking, good person energy. I mean, really, it's just amazing to me. I'll talk to you soon.